My first theatrical watch of 2025 was Leigh Whannell's Wolfman, and I have to say I was really taken by surprise. Leigh knows his way around the horror genre. He wrote Saw, he wrote Insidious, Dead Silence, and he directed Upgrade and The Invisible Man. A movie that at first I was a bit leery of. It was supposed to be part of the dark universe that failed when The Mummy flopped. The movie changed stars and directors. Originally was supposed to be a Ryan Gosling film. He pitched the project in the first place. In stepped Whannell and Christopher Abbott in the starring role, and I have to say they really pulled this off. I love a horror movie. There tends to be some type of thematic depth. There tends to be something happening underneath the surface that makes the story more compelling to me and makes the emotionality actually work. I need to care about the characters, I need to understand what they are feeling, and I need to understand what the story is trying to say. What's interesting here is the story of the Wolfman tends to be focused on sexuality. It tends to be an allegory for puberty, usually about losing control of yourself in that way, just giving in to that animalism. It's been referred to as a reboot of the 1941 film, and like any good reboot, they are tackling the story from a new direction, therefore justifying the existence of the film. It's a tight, concise 100-minute film that has a clear message, a clear goal. It gets in, executes, and gets out. Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner are the lead couple, Blake and Charlotte. Blake is a stay-at-home dad. Charlotte is an overworked journalist. You get the feeling there is something in the way of their relationship. They have reached a point where things are not going well. They have a daughter, Ginger, played by Matilda Firth. She is wonderful in the film, brings a whole lot of heart. She is the linchpin that this story is working around. At the beginning of the film establishes Blake's childhood, establishes his father, and tells us exactly what the film is going to be tackling, and that is rage and abusive tendencies. Paints the transformation as an illness, as something that can be passed from one person to another through violence. Film deals with the concept of men as protectors, shows how they can be animalistic in the protection of their children. It also shows how that same energy that can be used to protect can be used to harm, both emotionally and physically. Film shows that violence, rage, and abuse can change the way that people view someone forever. It's implied that the distance in this relationship is most likely stemming from Blake's anger. They try to work on things, going out to Oregon to Blake's father's farm after he's presumably passed away. This journey with the intention of repairing their relationship will turn into an absolute nightmare. You will see Blake beginning to become the exact same thing that he fears, that he hates, that he despises. Story about a man struggling to do the right thing despite the traits that have been passed down to him by his family. It also shows that at times to match violence and to protect the people you love, you have to become violent, but simply by becoming that violent, it can change the way they view you, like I mentioned earlier. Abbott is excellent here. His relationship with his daughter is very cute, very believable. His relationship with Julia Garner is strained and at times feels a bit awkward and unbelievable. I think that's kind of the point, but sometimes I think it went a bit too far. Garner is very reserved, very cold, very quiet. I think that's the purpose, but at times her performance does feel a tiny bit awkward. Really only present in the first half of the film. Once the action really starts to pick up here, this movie does not look back. There's some good scares, there is excellent gore, there's some really good practical effects and body horror. Transformation itself is very nicely paced out. I love the way it looks. They put so much care into the makeup. They pull you into the psyche of someone who is slowly losing his grip on reality and slowly losing his relationship with his family. Film asks you, can he be saved? Is it too late? There's lots of twists and turns here. You won't know exactly where the story is headed. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat. There's also a really nice score here. I love when a film like this has really good music. If you're dealing with an emotional story, you want that music to back it up and drive your points home. I think Wolfman undoubtedly does. Some people are not going to like this. I very much did. I'm giving this 4 stars. This is Friday, January 17th, and I hope you enjoy as much as I did.